The U.S. Senate campaign of Maine Democrat Graham Platner, an oyster farmer and Marine veteran, has been thrust into an intense national spotlight by the rapid discovery and disclosure of two separate, deeply damaging controversies. These events, a trove of controversial and offensive posts made over years on Reddit, followed by the revelation of a tattoo resembling a Nazi SS symbol, have turned the Maine Democratic primary into an extraordinary test of the party's tolerance for personal redemption, challenging conventional political expectations and setting the stage for a dramatic internal conflict. Summary and analysis of the core issues. The controversy centers on two distinct vulnerabilities: a decade-long history of unfiltered online commentary and a highly charged physical symbol. The Reddit posts, spanning from 2013 to 2021, contained remarks that appeared to endorse political violence, criticize police officers as bastards, suggest rural white Americans were racist and stupid, and even question the appropriate conduct of military sexual assault victims. Simultaneously, the candidate disclosed and hastily covered up a skull-and-crossbones tattoo on his chest, which the Anti-Defamation League, ADL, and critics identified as closely resembling the Nazi Totenkopf, a symbol of the SS responsible for Holocaust atrocities. The immediate analysis shows that Platner's political identity is both his strength and his weakness. His progressive anti-establishment appeal is rooted in authenticity and a willingness to speak bluntly. However, these revelations represent the dark underbelly of that unvarnished approach. The ensuing media frenzy was amplified by the fact that the disclosures coincided with the entry of establishment-backed Governor Janet Mills into the primary, suggesting a coordinated opposition research campaign designed to disqualify Platner before the general election challenge to incumbent Republican Senator Susan Collins. Reasons for the behavior and immediate consequences. Platner has offered a multi-layered defense to explain his past behavior, rooted in his military service. He attributes the controversial Reddit comments to a period of deep disillusionment, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, and depression following his multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He argues that the posts were the isolated ramblings of an unmoored veteran who sought community and fought arguments online, not a reflection of his current, evolved beliefs. Regarding the tattoo, Platner stated he was entirely unaware of its connection to Nazi symbolism, claiming he got the skull and crossbones design with fellow Marines in 2007 during a drunken night on leave, viewing it only as a generic military tough symbol. His swift decision to cover the image with a nuke Celtic knot design, and his choice to display the covered tattoo publicly in a televised interview, demonstrated a clear, if reactive, attempt at damage control and a powerful physical repudiation of the symbol's hateful meaning. The consequences were immediate and structural. Platner's political director resigned, citing the volume and nature of the comments as irreconcilable with her values. Yet, the campaign also received staunch backing from key progressives, including Senator Bernie Sanders, and surprisingly, the Democratic National Committee chair stated the posts were offensive, but not disqualifying. Most astonishingly, a University of New Hampshire poll conducted in the early stages of the controversy showed Platner holding a commanding 58% to 24% lead over Governor Mills among likely Democratic primary voters, indicating that his core supporters may be buying into his narrative of personal growth and resistance against the politics of personal destruction. Prediction and proposed solutions. The prediction for the Platner campaign's trajectory is that it will remain volatile, serving as a critical stress test for the modern Democratic Party. The primary will likely become less about policy and more about the Democratic electorate's appetite for risk versus stability. Platner's success hinges on whether primary voters prioritize his authentic narrative of redemption and his anti-establishment appeal over the electability concerns that national Democrats have about challenging a veteran Republican like Susan Collins in a general election. If Platner holds his current polling lead through the primary, he will have successfully defined the controversies as a badge of honor, proof that the establishment is afraid of his reformist candidacy. For Platner to survive the general election, he must adopt several strategic solutions. Policy pivot. immediately shift campaign focus almost entirely to kitchen table economic issues, healthcare, infrastructure, and veterans affairs, where his personal story can serve as a genuine asset rather than a liability. General election attack neutralization. He must proactively produce a final, definitive, and comprehensive video statement addressing the controversies one last time, emphasizing his evolution and committing his public life to anti-fascist and community-focused action. This is crucial for preempting attacks in the general election, where the opposition will be relentless. Maintain authenticity. He must continue to meet voters where they are, refusing to become the sanitized, conventional candidate his opponents desire. His strength lies in his difference. Losing that edge for the sake of political purity would neutralize his base support. In short, Graham Platner's campaign is betting that voters will extend grace to a deeply flawed candidate who has openly acknowledged his struggles and changed his life. A high-stakes gamble that could redefine the boundaries of political eligibility in the age of permanent digital records.